Global Big Day really is a festival among the birding community worldwide to help count and gauge the numbers of birds that are migrating. It's a time when birds are moving, they're nesting, there's so much happening around the globe. So it's a really important time for us to get out and count birds and interact with them. And it's also a time for us to take a chance to think about stewardship and the opportunities that we have to try and conserve everything that's in the environment. Here at the Wye Marsh, we've got a lot of different things going on. We've got an early morning bird and breakfast we're partnering with To Do Ontario on. So birders can come early in the morning, get a special guided hike with some of our staff, and then they can go out for a breakfast at a local restaurant, which is always great. It's good to have a full stomach for a day of birding. Then we have an all-day bird count at the Wye Marsh. So that will help us get some baseline studies and determine what's going on here on May 14th. So it gives us a snapshot as to which part of the migration we're in. We've also got a bird show at 1 p.m. And we'll have some events at Swan Landing as well.
In 1886, the last trumpeter swan was hunted. It was killed, and trumpeter swans were hunted for their feathers, their skin, their meat. And at that point, the species was considered extinct. We thought it was extinct. It turns out that it was extirpated, which means that it is extinct in the region. If we jump forward 100 years to 1988, we've missed a lot of the details that happened in between, but in that year, Wye Marsh actually joined the Ontario Trumpeter Swan Restoration Program. Our next big event would happen in 1993, where Pigpen, who was the first successful fledgling of Big Guy and Lady Girl, who were Wye Marsh's first successful mating pair. Pigpen, she had her first wild nest here in the marsh. And this is important because that was the first wild nest that trumpeter swans had in Ontario in over 100 years. On Global Big Day, we are celebrating the success of the reintroduction program. We would like to thank the Ontario Trumpeter Swan Restoration for all that they have done and the volunteers here at Wye Marsh.
So in the last few weeks, we've had a lot of birds coming back. We have ospreys nesting now. We've got some of our warblers returning, like the yellow warbler, the yellow-rumped warbler, some of my personal favorites. We've got tons of waterfowl here, from wood ducks, mallards, buffleheads. We've got a pretty good variety out in the marsh. And then we're really well known for trumpeter swans and chickadees. The chickadees are very adventurous and they're not afraid to come visit you when you come to the Wye Marsh. But due to the recent developments with bird flu, we are encouraging visitors to just distance themselves a little bit from our wild birds. Birds can be a little bit tricky to count. There's a few different ways you can count them visually or by their song. And it can be a little bit tricky because if there's a lot of birds around, it can be tough to get an exact number. So sometimes it is a bit of an estimate, especially if there's lots of birds flitting around in the trees. But it's important to get a rough estimate of populations, just so then we can see if certain types of birds are decreasing in numbers, increasing in numbers, and we can try and determine factors that are causing those changes, whether it's habitat loss or destruction, loss of food sources, loss of nesting sites, that sort of thing. The bird count is all day. We've got our property set up in different sections, so if groups want to come and survey a little section of the property, they're welcome to, and we have information on our website. We've got something for everyone, and it should be a lot of fun. So if you have, whether you're a novice or an expert, it should be a good time to come out and enjoy birds. So when you're at the Wye Marsh, we ask our visitors to stay on the trails because we do have some sensitive environments and we have different native plants and stuff that we don't want to see trampled. We also have amphibians that are off trails, like salamanders and frogs that are laying their eggs at this time of year. So yeah, staying on trails is really important, not harassing wildlife. So if you do see a bird or a snake or something, just take some photos and mind your distance. But we do encourage people to have interactions, and I think here you do get that opportunity to get close to wildlife.